During the height of the Cold War, the United States government was locked in a battle for global supremacy. But behind closed doors, they weren't just developing weapons and spies. They were experimenting on the human mind itself. Project MK-Ultra, a top-secret CIA program, pushed the boundaries of ethics and human decency in an effort to control behavior. From drug experiments to psychological torture, MK-Ultra remains one of the darkest chapters in American history. MK-Ultra began in the early 1950s when the CIA became obsessed with the idea of mind control. In the tense environment of the Cold War, there were fears that foreign enemies, particularly the Soviet Union, had developed ways to manipulate people's thoughts and actions. In response, the CIA initiated a secret project that would explore the limits of human control and manipulation. MK-Ultra was officially approved in 1953 under CIA Director Allen Dulles. The goal? To develop methods that could control human behavior, break down resistance during interrogations, and potentially even turn people into unwilling spies or assassins. The methods employed in Project MK-Ultra were both experimental and extreme. The CIA sought to manipulate the human mind through various techniques ranging from hypnosis to sensory deprivation. But perhaps the most infamous of these experiments involved the use of drugs, particularly LSD. Thousands of US citizens, some knowingly, many unknowingly, were subjected to experiments involving hallucinogenic drugs like LSD. The CIA hoped that these drugs could be used to break down mental resistance, erase memories, and implant new thoughts. But what they achieved instead was psychological trauma, lasting damage, and in some cases, death. Many of the experiments conducted under MK-Ultra were not just unethical, they were inhumane. Participants were often unaware they were part of the experiment, and many suffered long-term psychological damage. In some cases, the CIA specifically targeted vulnerable groups such as prisoners, mental patients, and drug addicts. In one of the most notorious experiments known as Operation Midnight Climax, the CIA set up safe houses where they secretly administered LSD to unknowing individuals while agents observed from behind two-way mirrors. The subjects had no idea they were being drugged, let alone being part of a mind control experiment. These practices crossed every ethical line. Despite its extensive reach, MK-Ultra remained a secret for decades, but in the 1970s, after a series of revelations during the Watergate scandal, the public finally learned the truth. A series of investigations and congressional hearings brought to light the shocking details of the program, sparking outrage and leading to greater scrutiny of CIA activities. In 1975, the Church Committee, a Senate committee established to investigate abuses by the intelligence agencies, uncovered damning evidence about MK-Ultra. The hearings revealed that not only had the CIA conducted experiments on unwitting subjects, but they had destroyed a large portion of the records to cover their tracks. The damage caused by MK-Ultra didn't end when the program was shut down in the early 1970s. Many of the victims who were subjected to the experiments suffered from long-term psychological trauma, and some have spent decades seeking justice. Despite public outcry, very few people were held accountable for the abuses committed under MK-Ultra. MK-Ultra has become a symbol of government overreach, secrecy, and the ethical boundaries that were crossed in the name of national security. Today, the program's dark legacy lives on, as conspiracy theories and pop culture continue to explore the limits of human control and manipulation. MK-Ultra was more than just a secret CIA program. It was a violation of basic human rights conducted in the name of Cold War paranoia. Its story serves as a reminder of what can happen when power goes unchecked and ethics are ignored. Thank you for watching this episode of The Forgotten Chronicles. If you found this story shocking, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Could something like MK-Ultra happen again today?